Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie here. Do you like war? War is not pretty. Some people lose their limbs, others get blown up, others can starve to death, and some people watch their families and friends die in front of them. And other very unlucky folk are caught in the crossfire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this war of mine. Released November 2014, this game has accurately predicted the state of the world right now, and the insane amount of war crimes that are committed by Israel. The game has been published and developed by the Polish studio 11-Bit Studio, famous for games like Frostpunk and Indica. And you can truly sense that the game is made by a Polish studio due to the fact that it has perfectly captured that pure Slavic era depression. This War of Mine is a 2D side-scroller survival strategy game that is deemed as a psychological horror game by some people, due to its dreadful atmosphere and chilling soundtrack. The game was inspired by the siege of Sarajevo, which is part of the Bosnian War. It also aims to make you capture a fraction of the essence and terror of being a survivor on a land that's in a war. As mentioned before, the game's music and atmosphere are incredibly bone-chilling, and that is thanks to the game's music composer Piotr Musical, who managed to make an insanely depressing soundtrack. Anyways, without further waiting, let's get into the gameplay. This is not your average war game. You are not a fancy man with his M4 or his AK. You are not one of those COD homos. You are a civilian, a survivor trying to make it through the nights in a war zone. The game focuses on the life of civilians that experience war firsthand, rather than the front lines of combat. Characters have to make difficult choices in order to survive everyday dangers, and every character has his own unique and different ending. After you choose which group of poor schmucks you want to play as, which can all be different people with different relationships, as you can play multiple characters at once, each with their own unique set of skills and needs. For example, they can be a good cook, but they are a smoker, and one can be a good runner, and another can be a good scavenger, and so on and so forth. The game has a day system, where during the day you are fixing up your base, and you are building different workbenches that can craft different items. And you can make beds, weapons, lockpicks, shovels, and things that you might need to use during the night. During the day, if you have a radio, you can browse the radio stations for news, or some Slavic rock, or you can even get the weather report in case you want to make precautions for the night. And sometimes during the day, you have a chance of triggering a random event. These random events can either be a trader willing to sell and buy and trade items, or people asking to help. Choosing to help these people, or choosing not to help these people, can lead to multiple consequences and can lead to multiple different endings for that event or side quest, whatever you want to call it. For example, if you get two kids asking for medicine for their mother, there is a chance that they will come back later with their mom or their dad, whoever, and give you something back. Or you can give them the meds and they will give you nothing in return in the future, or you can tell them no and send them on their way. But this War of Mine does not shine during the day. The game's psychological horror element truly shines during the night. The night gameplay in this War of Mine is almost a completely different game. During the day, you are playing a base builder with a resource management system. During the night, you have to first of all choose who gets to sleep, who gets to be a guard, and who goes on a scavenging hunt. You can choose for no one to go scavenging, which is usually a very bad idea. Because if you choose to not scavenge, then you are screwed. You must scavenge as much as you can for meds, food, and resources to make your base stronger and safer in case of an attack on your base. Because sometimes during the night, you can encounter a raid, which can either be fairly harmless and people are just trying to take something off of your hand, or it's people that are going to skin you alive, take all of your shit, and leave. And there's also options in between of people just stealing something, slightly wounding one of your characters, and being on their way. But let's get back to night gameplay, specifically scavenging. You first off have to choose a destination of where you want to scavenge. After you choose a destination, based on the resources and the level of danger that that location has, whether it's possible danger, caution advised, or actual danger, you will have to gear up based on the place you're going to. After you pick a destination, you go in. And when you go in, you cannot see into another room unless you peek into it through the door or you open the door. But you can hear. And that red circle that is approaching you is either a rat or a person. But if it is a person, are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to risk if that person is going to be someone who is harmless? Someone who is going to ask you to go away? Or is it going to be someone that's going to shoot you on sight? Or is it a possible serial killer that is going to kill you? Or perhaps is it going to be completely harmless people and you are the one who's going to do the killing? Whatever choice you make, you have to be careful, because if your character dies, you cannot bring them back from the dead. Turns out, a bullet to the cranium isn't good for your health, but it will fix that hungry status effect that your character keeps complaining about. The game is fairly open-ended, so naturally it contains multiple endings. While I recorded this video, I managed to get the worst possible ending for the 3 characters that I was playing, because it was funny. And multiple endings imply that every character has a story, which implies multiple stories. No, I'm not talking about the story of the game. I already summed it up. You are civilians in a war, everything has gone to shit, and you want to survive for a reason. If you want to know the reason of why your characters want to survive, play the game yourself. I like to assume that Bruno wants to smoke actual bootleg cigarettes again, instead of that roll-up cigarette that he keeps smoking. Pavel wants to get back to robbing liquor stores. And Marco? I don't know, but Marco is the GOAT. In summary, this war of mine is a brutal, unforgiving, and an incredibly well-crafted atmospheric game. I cannot mutter up the words to describe how good that game felt to play, or how bone-chilling it can be, or how terrifying it can be at times. I really liked it when I was playing it as a teenager, and I still like playing it to this day. It is just one of those games that you keep revisiting over and over and over again because of how open-ended and ridiculously fun it is. And there are so many characters to play, there is so much replayability, and just please check it out on Steam. I will put a link in the description. And at some point, if you played it as much as I did, you will find it almost relaxing, because you know exactly what to do and exactly what to get and exactly where to go. As usual, the soundtrack of this game is so incredibly good, I used it as background music for this video. Here are some samples. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have a game you want me to review or talk about, please make sure to leave it in the comments and I will check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching. More content to come, so stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.